We Are Australians, written by Duncan Smith and Nicole Godwin, with paintings by Jandamarra Cadd. First published in 2022 by Wild Dog. Reprinted in 2022. Copyright text goes to Duncan Smith and Nicole Godwin. Copyright illustrations go to Jandamarra Cadd. To my Wiradjuri people, to Australia's First Nations people who have so much to teach, the rest of us just have to listen. Gratitude to all of those who see the value of walking together, one heart, one people, one mob. Thank you to the photographers of these stunning artworks, Renee Balu, Mike Corsos, and Amy Ocean. We Are Australians, Duncan Smith and Nicole Godwin, with paintings by Jandamarra Cadd. We are Australians. We are citizens of our family, school, classroom, community, church, suburb, team, town, street, state, country, world. As citizens of Australia, we have rights. And we have responsibilities. But we are also part of something bigger. Australia's First Nations people have lived on and cared for country for tens of thousands of years. First Nations culture and knowledge live through songlines and are shared through dance, story, and celebration. Other citizens have travelled to make Australia their home. They have brought their own traditions and celebrations. Australia is unique, and so is what each of us brings to it. It is up to us to be part of the present and to act for the future, to know our history, to connect with the people who have lived here for thousands of generations, to acknowledge on whose land we walk. Embrace the first languages of our place. Connect to living, breathing country that holds memories and sustains us. Our treatment of the land will affect those yet to come. Stamp our feet, wake up the ancestors, let the dust settle on our skin. Listen deeply to stories, to points of view, to country. Then treasure our differences and use our voices to speak up and stand together as citizens of Australia. This timeline represents the citizens of Australia. 65,000 years ago, archaeologists have found tools, grinding stones, artwork, and other artefacts dating back more than 65,000 years at sites across Australia. 1606. Earliest recorded contact between Europeans and Aboriginal people. 1770. Australia claimed as terra nullius by Lieutenant James Cook. Aboriginal population at this time is estimated to be around 750,000. 1788. The first fleet arrives in Australia from Britain. 1788 to 1934. Diseases and the frontier wars reduced the Aboriginal population by about 90%. 1856 to 1896, men, including Aboriginal men in the colonies of South Australia, Victoria, New South Wales and Tasmania, are now allowed to vote. 1895, women in South Australia, including Aboriginal women, win the right to vote in state elections. 1901, a federation of states forms an Australian government. Australia introduces its Immigration Restriction Act, known as the White Australia Policy. This restricts non-European immigration to Australia until 1966. 1902. All non-Aboriginal women and men and Aboriginal people already authorised to vote in state elections received the right to vote in federal elections. 1910 to 1970. Many Aboriginal children now known as the Stolen Generation are taken from their families. 1949. First Australian citizenship ceremony takes place in Canberra, with 7 men becoming Australian citizens. 1962. All Aboriginal people are allowed to enrol to vote in elections. However, voting is not compulsory for Aboriginal Australians until 1984. 1967. Constitutional referendum leads to Aboriginal people being counted as Australians in the national census. 1971. Aboriginal flag is flown for the first time. Neville Bonner becomes the first Aboriginal person to be elected to federal parliament as a senator. 1973. The Whitlam government formally renounces the White Australia policy and establishes a policy of multiculturalism. 1992. Mabo decision recognises land rights of First Nations Australians. 2001. Australian Citizenship Day is founded and is celebrated annually on 17th of September. 2008. Prime Minister Rudd offers a national apology to First Nations people. 2009. Australian Government ratifies UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. 2013. Nova Peris becomes the first female traditional owner to be elected to federal parliament as a senator. 2016. Linda Burney becomes the first female Aboriginal to hold a seat in the Federal House of Representatives. 2017. The Uluru Statement from the Heart is released. 2019. The Uluru Climb is closed. 2021. Over 140,000 people chose to become Australian citizens.